My name is Isaac TeSlaa. I'm a junior wide receiver at the University of Arkansas, and you're watching V2 Sports.
All right, we are back with an interview that everybody's been asking for. We got multiple DMs requesting him, so y'all know we had to go out and get him. Welcome to the show, Isaac. We're super excited to have you. And really quickly, before we get into it, if y'all do not know his background, it is actually like I just got the chance to actually look it up because 24/7 has been lying to us this whole time. I just saw that transferring out, you transferred to Arkansas over Arizona, Baylor, Colorado, Houston, Iowa, Iowa State, Miami, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, Nebraska, Purdue, Texas A&M, and Wisconsin, among others. So I can tell that the recruiting process was definitely extremely busy for you. Um, did you at least enjoy it?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. There were a lot of phone calls and a lot of visits, I will say. It was a whole lot more intense than I was expecting it to be when I hit the portal. But I mean, I had a lot of fun with it, and it was a great experience overall.
All right, so getting into the interview, I see here that you led your high school to a state title in 2018 as the quarterback,
Correct.
correct? All right. So what skills do you believe transition over from playing quarterback to wide receiver?
Well, one thing is, we ran the wing T, so I was throwing the ball 8 times a game. Other than that, we were running the ball down people's throats. That's all we did was just run the ball. So I did a lot of running, so that obviously set me up for a receiver. Um, I just felt like coming out of high school, I had more skill as a receiver than I would at quarterback. Just because I mean we ran the wing tee, so we didn't really throw the ball, so I didn't have necessarily like the mechanics that the other guys would have, and I felt that I could make a good transition over to receiver, especially with the athletic ability that I had. So at that point, it was just getting the technique down and figuring out what it means to be a receiver, and that's what I went to Hillsdale to do, obviously. And obviously, I did a pretty nice job figuring it out. Still don't have it all figured out, but enough to get me over to Arkansas.
I got you. So like I stated at the beginning of the episode, you had a heavy transfer portal, the way it looked. So can you walk us through your visit to Arkansas, who your player host was, basically how everything went down?
Yeah, so when I came, I don't remember exactly when it was, but most of the football players were not even on campus. So I didn't have a player host, so I kind of just stuck around with my parents and kind of hung out with some other guys that were also there. So I didn't really get that experience, but I hung out with the coaches obviously a lot and got to see the facility and everything. And one thing that I think is pretty funny that I like to tell people is on my last day there, I was wearing a DeAndre Swift jersey because I'm a huge Lions fan. Obviously,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he got traded to the Eagles now. But back then, he was obviously on the Lions, and Coach Pitt noticed that. And there's three guys from Arkansas that are on the Lions right now. There's Dan Skipper, Frank Ragnow, and Jerry Jacobs. So he called up Dan Skipper and got him on FaceTime. So I got to talk to all those guys, and then Dan Skipper went and put DeAndre Swift on for me. So I got to with him on FaceTime for a little bit, which is cool.
Oh, that's a W. So, what exactly was it about Arkansas that made you feel like home? Was it a family environment? Did you feel like it was best for your academic career? What really made it feel like home for you?
Yeah, there were a lot of things. Like you said, the family thing was definitely a big thing. I wanted somewhere, where I would also fit as a player, but also as a person. I really feel like Kenny Guyton was a great wide receivers coach, and then obviously getting to know Coach Pitt was a huge factor in my decision. But ultimately, it came down to I wanted to play in the SEC, the best conference in all of college football, and I felt like Arkansas was the best opportunity for me to come in and make an impact. Obviously, they lost Hazelwood and Landers and a couple other guys to the transfer portal. So their top four receivers from last year were gone. So I just felt like the opportunity for me to showcase my skills was going to be best if I came to Arkansas.
All right, and my final question before I'll pass it, Dane, and then I'll come back at the end of the episode with more questions. Everybody sees, Coach Pittman's post-game media interviews. Is he like that in real life? Just a really
Yeah,
laid
he is.
back kind of. Oh, that's
He
amazing.
he's so laid back, and I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Michigan, obviously. So it took a little getting used to, just because he's so like methodical and slow, and does things on his own time. and everywhere like up in Michigan is just go go go. So I definitely had to get adjusted to just the way he does things and how slow he talks and everything. But I've really come to love it, and I really love Coach Pitt.
All right, so that's going to do it for me now. Go ahead and hand it off to Dane.
All right. Obviously, you came to the SEC. You're ready to show off your talent. A lot of talented defenses in the SEC. I'm wondering who you're most excited to play and kind of show off against in the SEC.
Man, we have a lot of fun games this year, I will say. I'm really excited to get down to Death Valley. That'll be a fun one. It's going to be loud in there. Obviously, playing in Jerry's World is going to be a lot of fun over in Dallas. But I think my favorite game that I'm looking forward to is down in Florida. My girlfriend's from Florida, and her family's the big Gator fans. So I'm looking forward to sticking it to them and kind of rubbing it in their face a little bit.
For sure, for sure. If you had to give like 3 songs out of like your pregame playlist, what 3 would you choose?
So a little fun fact about me is I don't listen to a lot of rap, and people think that's crazy, especially for pregame. So I don't even know what game it was last year. I was playing, and I just decided before the game I was going to listen to some groovy 70s and 80s. And I think I had the best game of my career when I did that. So ever since then, I've just been playing that before games. So that's kind of what I listen to. Some BG, some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, yeah, nice. I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it. My last question here. I had it on the tip of my tongue, and now I can't think of it. I'm gonna give it back to Jason real quick while I remember what that one is.
All right,
That's all right.
Okay. I'm glad that we got it back to me so fast because out of everyone we've interviewed, you get the usual, I listen to Young Boy, and then you get the one-off Adele's, and it's not a one-off for anybody that's been listening to V2. It's like 1 in every 4 player interviews. We get somebody saying that Adele is their perfect pregame playlist, and now we get to add to the collection. For the first time, we get to add the Bee Gees and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
And Michael Jackson too. I'll add that one in there.
Okay. Well, that one's okay. That one's kind of normal. It depends on what songs of Michael Jackson you're listening to. Because if you're going out there balling out after listening to "Man in the Mirror," you're just a different kind of breed.
Yeah,
all right?
no, it's not that one. Like Beat It, Billie Jean, something like that. Bad.
Yeah, okay. All right, I was about to say, man, if you're going out there just routing people up after listening to "Man in the Mirror," I'm scared. I don't. So.
No, that's hilarious.
You said you're super excited to play, Florida and LSU. What was that like making, pretty much explaining to your girlfriend? Were you with her when you transferred to Arkansas?
Yes, I was. So she was
So,
with me throughout the whole process. So she goes to Hillsdale, my last college. So she knew that, I was maybe going to hit the portal. And then when I hit the portal, I got some attention. And then eventually Arkansas came around and they offered me. And at first they weren't even really on my radar until I came on my visit. And I just loved the visit so much. And eventually she was the first person I called and told that I was going to transfer to Arkansas. So, and then we looked at the schedule and we saw Florida was on there. And we both got really excited. And she's definitely going to be rooting for Arkansas. I'm gonna make sure she's wearing her Arkansas gear at the game.
I was about to say, I wonder how that had to be explaining to her parents. Yeah, so my boyfriend Isaac, he transferred to Arkansas, and guess what? They're playing Florida this year, so get ready. If y'all pissed him off, he's definitely taking it out this game, so be prepared.
Exactly.
But going back to Arkansas and you saying the SEC is, the best conference, what exactly would you say, talent wise, you bring to a very Sam Pittman and Dan Enos powered offense?
Yeah. Well, I obviously I'm not sure if you guys have watched my film, but I think one of the the biggest things I bring is I don't know, I just I can go up and catch anything, catch any contested ball. They like to call those 50-50 balls. And I like to think of them as 90-10, 80-20 balls with me because I can get up there in high point, use my catching skills, my vertical, things like that. And I think that's probably the strongest suit of my game. But outside of that, you can also move me inside, and I can still run routes. I'm very fluid. I feel like for my size 6'4", 215. So with that, I also bring the physicality aspect where I'm going to be able to get those smaller DBs off me, and even in the run game, make an impact, getting in there with the safeties and stuff.
Right. So with it being Arkansas, and I guess this is the question Dane was getting at earlier, the defenses are extremely, I guess, prepared in the SEC. Is there any DB in particular that you are looking forward to playing against?
To be honest, I do not like before I transferred. I did not watch much college football at all. So to be honest with you, I haven't done much scouting of our opponents yet. So once I figure that out, I'll get back to you and I'll let you know which DB I'm looking forward to facing the most.
All right, no problem. And couple more things. If there was anything that you could, like any piece of advice that you could give to high schoolers and even people in like junior college about
Mm-hmm.
basically football, how to get through it, how to go through the recruiting process, what would that be?
I would just say don't get discouraged. Obviously, when I came out of high school, I got little to basically no attention. I knew the player I was, so you just have to trust the player. Trust yourself, trust your ability, and if nothing else, just go in and work and show what the other schools missed out on.
All right. And finally, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out my mom. Love you, Stephanie.
I love it. Thank you for joining us, and thank all of y'all for listening. We really appreciate it. And we really appreciate getting this time to talk with you about your recruitment process, what you bring to Arkansas, and pretty much everything that you had to go over and your advice for the kids pretty much. We really appreciate that. Super excited to watch you play this fall. And for anybody out there that is an Arkansas fan and you want to watch him live, make sure that you use code V2Sports on SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase over $50. Trust me, we will not do you wrong. And honestly, if none of y'all use the code, I might just make a new account to use the code and come to Arkansas and watch this man ball. Because if y'all have not watched his film yet, I suggest you do. Because it was amazing. Now, as always, once again, we appreciate you for coming on, and good morning, good afternoon, and good night from the V2 crew. We'll see y'all next time.